Alright, guys, this is a bit special. This is a bit special. Usually I don't do, reaction videos without stream, but, this is an exception, because I want to react to this, because it's funny. Johnny Somali apologizes while facing 10-year sentence in Korea. I think it's Jover. I think they got his ass. It's official. I think they got him. Ladies and gentlemen, they got him. For those of you who do not know who Johnny Somali is, he's a nuisance YouTuber. That means he goes to different countries, disturbs the peace there, harasses people, disrespects the culture, so on and so forth. I think Ref probably will explain it again as he did in the last 3 videos. However, yeah, I'd say let's get into it and let's see what, yeah, how bad it really is. But yeah. Johnny Somali apologizes while facing 10-year sentence in Korea by Ref says Desu. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So today we're going to do another round of topic parkour, quickly covering various topics that I don't want to slip through the cracks as we deal with the usual giant load of potential video topics that we've been covering recently. So let's begin with an update on Johnny Somali. So Johnny Somali has been dealing with a lot over the past couple of weeks in Korea, and now he is facing...
Yeah, a lot. So what he did in Korea was, first of all, he fondled and weirdly touched those, what is it called? Those was it comfort women? I think it was comfort women. If I'm not correct. Like those statues that were there to honor the women that were put in slavery to do certain explicit acts with Japanese men. I can't say that because YouTube doesn't like that, but yeah. After that, he also did a couple of other things. He harassed people that lived there, threw food at them, and all that stuff. I think did he also like was inside a building and screaming aloud, and then he was escorted outside. Eventually people were finding him. He recorded something on the street, and then somebody randomly came in and just punched him in the face. After that, there were multiple instances where he needed to run away, and after that, somebody from the military found him and beat him up. That's the current state of the situation. And yeah, let's continue.
Up to 10 years in jail. Now you can see the enthusiasm behind Johnny Somali's downfall, right? This tweet from Dexerto covering this has over 300,000 likes, nearly 22 million views in just one day. Now, of course, the most recent updates about Johnny I covered in my previous video from a few days ago. Essentially, he's been in South Korea for a couple of weeks, and he's been doing his normal nuisance streaming, but he crossed the line into basically way further than he ever thought he could have when he started going around and groping and kissing comfort women's statues.
Yeah, comfort women's statues. Okay, then I was correct.
That caused a lot of Korean streamers to get very upset, track him down, basically rough him up every time he goes outside, eventually getting so bad Johnny Somali wants to leave the country. He is prohibited from doing so by the police because they're investigating him for multiple charges we'll talk about in just a second. And then he's basically forced into hiding, but then makes the mistake of challenging these streamers to come and find him, and within 24 hours...
Yeah, he challenged the streamers to come and find him. Within 24 hours, they found him. What gave his, by the way, his location away was a pizza box. Yeah, I'm not kidding. A pizza box gave his location away. Very interesting. I think the same happened to Andrew Tate, if I'm not wrong.
Hours, they come and find him, and one streamer in particular hits him in the face as he's leaving the place he was staying, and he's bloodied and dazed from it. And really, at that point, Johnny Somali is running scared. And things get even worse when you start looking at the specific charges that he is facing right now and how serious Korea takes, in particular, drug-related offenses. Even I didn't know this. So South Korea is very strict when it comes to drug use. Possession or use of illegal drugs can result in a sentence of up to 10 years in jail and up to a fine of around 72,000.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I really wonder if he could even pay those $72,000. Very interesting. If he goes to jail, that'd be very interesting.
US dollars. Meanwhile, assaults, the other charges, can carry a maximum penalty of 2 years or a around $3,500 fine. So, of all the shenanigans he's been doing and the social backlash and even the beatings he's been taking, I would worry a lot less about that if I was Johnny Somali than those drug-related charges. That is not for redistribution of drugs. It's not selling drugs. It's just simple possession or use. And if he is caught with that, he is facing a very, very strict sentence. And since our last video covering Johnny Somali, his latest Twitter account has been suspended. I believe this
That was to be expected. I wonder if his current YouTube channel also got suspended. I don't know though. It's interesting, to say the least, that the use of drugs, which if they tested him, and I heard some people complaining about it, that is an issue. That yeah, the use of drugs mean if he has drugs in his blood. They can jail him for that, which is really interesting. I didn't know that. That was new information. Some people were like complaining he shouldn't be in jail because like the use of drugs is not that's such a problem. But yeah, actually, the use of drugs is a problem in this country. You better inform yourself before taking any substances, before you do go to another country.
This is like his third or fourth account. And also his second and even I think third YouTube channels have been banned as well. And also with Kick, his original platform, he's been banned from the...
Interesting. So he got banned on Twitter. Always. Always. His third YouTube channel in this case is also gone. That's interesting. And he, even on Kick, so even Kick realized, hey, this is a problem, we need to get rid of this guy. Okay, interesting.
There for over a year at this point, and clearly is not coming back. So he's in a desperate situation. I think he's doing everything he can to try to fix the mess he's facing in South Korea. And this is the step right here. Translated, of course. So it appears that Johnny Somali and Hank Yu, one of his friends he was causing havoc with, have apologized for the Comfort Women statue situation. And he shaved his face and tried to basically play up that he's really sorry for everything that happens. And on the related video, he tries to act like he didn't understand the significance of what he was doing. And you can see he was in the car and going around town and visiting these Comfort Women statues with several of the YouTubers, streamers, and alike from Korea who were not only criticizing him, but also hunting him down and trying to jump him. So this is a very interesting situation. You can see this is the YouTube video posted today where we're seeing these interactions where he's getting a much more welcoming presence here. And it seems like they're trying to reconcile something here. And whether or not they believe him, it's kind of hard to tell, especially with language barriers. But the top comment on this video is pinned by the uploader where it says, translate of course, "Dear Korean people, please do not accept or believe Johnny's apology. He is not sincere in his apology. He did the same thing in Japan. Johnny apologized and left for Bali. As soon as he arrived in Bali, he gossiped about the Japanese and the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki."
Funny, it's a Kim Jong-un profile picture. That's funny. Yeah, don't accept this apology. Some Korean people have seen my reactions. Do not accept his apology. Either get this guy into jail. I'm gonna be honest. I have no sympathy for him at this point anymore. You caused this yourself, or throw him out of the country permanently. That's all I can say. Do not apologize this idiot's. Do not accept this idiot's apology. Thank you.
Which I do remember the source I had for that back in the day. They've been DMCA'd by likely Johnny Somali, but he immediately, upon entering Bali, just started saying, I'm not sorry for anything that happened in Japan. And he started saying the Hiroshima and Nagasaki stuff again. So clearly when he apologizes, he's lying through his teeth, and people are making...
That is so disgusting. That is so disgusting. That is so disgusting. I wonder, can YouTube hardware ban him? And like Twitter? Is that possible? I don't know, maybe? I don't know too much about this, but I think this would be the next best step to just ban him, hardware ban him.
Sure that these Korean streamers trying to work things out or reconcile things with him are aware that he lies through his teeth at any given moment to try to save himself because he is in a terrible situation, and obviously the laws in Korea seem to be much more harsh than Japan. That's the big criticism of the Japanese law enforcement, who gave him what many would consider a very light sentence for all of the crap he did while he was in Japan. But in Korea, not so much. He's facing some very serious legal penalties, and also, as we've seen, pretty much anytime he goes outside, he's facing getting jumped by many different people. So let's move on to the next topic of this video. So here's the headline from That Park Place saying, "Take two."
Oh, the entire video is not about this? Okay. Doesn't matter. Um, we'll just have to see. We'll really just have to see how they're gonna handle it. They put him in jail. I don't have any sympathy. You caused this yourself. Now you gotta live with it. The least they should do is permanently ban him from entering South Korea. I think that's a good decision.
Interactive CEO admits Borderlands movie box office was disappointing, but reveals it sold more catalog. So if you're not familiar with this movie or you didn't see it based on this franchise here, this was an absolute disaster. This was one of the biggest flops in the box office in some recent memory.
Yeah, terrible movie. Not only that, it is a very much big misrepresentation of Borderlands. It is definitely up there with like the Mario movie and whatever, like other video game movies from the or live action versions of even like cartoon shows like He-Man and stuff. It is up there. It certainly is up there. The problem is that this is so bad that it's not enjoyable. The other movies at least are so bad that you can make fun of them. But this is just really not a good movie. If you want the movie that's based on any like other media, like watch Transformers 1, amazing movie.
And it left a lot of people very disappointed and questioning why this was even created in the first place. And as soon as it came out, the CEO was seeing the very negative reception of this and basically said, please give this film a chance, literally begging people to go out and see this film because the results
What was the last Borderlands? Was it just Borderlands 3? When did Borderlands 3 release? Let me Google. Borderlands 3 released in... Let me Google. 2019. Okay. The people like that game? Apparently so. Things like... Borderlands is, in my opinion, too small to warrant a movie. That's just... Not every video game needs to be turned into a movie, especially if it's more smaller than others. You wouldn't make a live action movie based on, I don't know, like I don't know what game, like Nier. You wouldn't do that. Nier isn't big enough to warrant a movie, usually. So it's kind of like, why did they do this?
That were absolutely abysmal. So the film eventually went into the box office and grossed $15.4 million domestically and another $17.4 internationally for a total gross of about $33 million. And it was reported that the budget was $115 million. And if you know anything about how films work nowadays, you have to basically multiply that budget by several percentage points. And the real budget was around $300 million in order to...
So around about 10%. This movie made around 10% of what it originally costed. That is insane. That is insane. So wait, another 70 so 50.4 million. Yeah, just wait, let me read. So only grossing 50.4 million domestically and another 70.4 million internationally for it to global. That is insane. That is horrific. That is horrific. Wow. Okay, that is atrocious. That's a roughly 10%. Uh
break even for this film. And obviously, as you can see, it wasn't even close. But the justification here from the CEO is that it kind of brought more attention to the franchise generally. I don't know if it was worth well over $100 million loss, but anyways, I guess that's just the copium for now.
the problem though is that the problem is that as negative publicity is not going to help you grow your franchise. What the hell is this? What kind of argument is that? Very interesting.
But in 2024, this has been the year of the flop in the video game industry as well. We've seen some big.
Okay, look at this. So, The Acolyte. Let's talk about these actually. The Acolyte. Awful TV show. Modern Star Wars. I don't think we need to argue about that. Huge problem. Also, which is very interesting, what I've seen. People were complaining that they were ending the show. That they were canceling the show. Yet, it is interesting to see if you remember the petition. If you don't remember the petition. So, I'm going to explain it. They had the show got cancelled. The announcement for the cancellation. So people started a petition. And the petition had more people than people watching the show. If the amount of people that signed the petition would have watched the show instead, the show would have never been cancelled. Star Wars Outlaws, we don't need to argue about that. It's more than Ubisoft. It's not only like it's even without the work, it's still an absolutely horrendous game. It looks awful. It was so bad that first of all, horrendous bugs. It was so bad that the people that bought like the premium edition, whatever you want to call it, had so many bugs that they had to restart the game because they had to do an update. So the people that played through the game had to start a new save file, which means they shouldn't have pre-ordered it in the first place. And they got like what did they get, like a trinket? I don't know what it was. They got that Dustborn. I'm not gonna explain it. Dustborn is horrendous. Flintlock. I don't know too much about it. I've seen some stuff. I've reacted to a video. I don't remember too much. It was just really bad. I think it was just really bad. Borderlands. I mean, we've talked about it. Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League. Not a horrendous flop, but not a horrendous flop, which is interesting. A flop, but not a horrendous flop. Yeah, I don't know why they keep having it alive. It does not make money, and I'm gonna say it. A lot of these games also fail because they are live service games, and we have too many of them. We have too many. I think it's the Doctor Who. Yeah, right, Doctor Who, the female Doctor who is absolutely terrible. Not because she's female, because she's a woman, but because Doctor Who is terrible right now. Zhao, of course. Sweet Baby Ink was involved. That pretty much killed the game. Unknown Awakening. Unknown. Was it Unknown 9? Unknown Awakening? I don't know. I don't remember. Horrendous game. Nobody bought this game. It's also just a really bad game. Dialogues are horrendous. The gameplay's horrendous. It doesn't look super bad. It just does look uninspired. That's what I give it. It does look okay. And yeah, nobody played it. I think the lowest what I originally saw was like 3 players. Nobody played this. I think that's also due to the fact there was no marketing. There was zero marketing. I only found out because people were criticizing it, which is interesting. And now Dragon Age: The Veilguard. While not a complete flop and actually, quote unquote, doing pretty well, there are new numbers. There were I think 75k pre-orders, less than 500 copies sold, and right now 30,000 refunds. Tendency going up. It is not Dragon Age, not even close. The things that made Dragon Age, especially Origins, were the dark themes, dark fantasy. It was all that. Dragon Age: The Veilguard has none of that. It quite literally has none of these. The dialogues are horrendous. The character designs are horrendous. This looks more like Fable. If anything, this is the style Fable should have gone with, and Dragon Age should have used the style that Fable has right now. It is just... I'm disappointed because I love Origins. I even love the very what's the word? They didn't have much time to make Dragon Age 2. It was still enjoyable though. Inquisition was not as good anymore, and the Veilguard is eh. It could have been a good game. If they fixed the dialogues, if they fixed all the other stuff. I think also they should have made a Dragon Age that was a lot more akin to what Origins was, in my opinion. Because like Alistair, Morrigan, the cringe jokes here and there that Alistair makes. Yeah, it's just so much better. It's just so much better. The Grey Wardens. It's just so much better.
And beloved franchises do very, very poorly. However, despite those flops, we have some successful games getting a sequel, and that is Hogwarts Legacy. So it's been announced a while ago that this game was going to be getting a sequel. However, it has now been announced by Warner Bros. That it is in production, and it's a high priority within the company. So this is some pretty big news. This game was a monumental success back in...
Oh no. Oh no! We get the Wizard game, Phase 2.0! Not again! Not again! I wonder if Fruit is gonna make another charity stream to not give away the money. Interesting. Oh no, Fruit is scared at this point. This is crazy, by the way. This is insane. That we might actually get a Phase 2. Interesting. Interesting.
In 2023, and of course, you must be aware of the harassment campaign surrounding this game, where people believe playing this game made you a transphobe because it's an IP that belongs to J.K. Rowling, who they believe is a transphobe, and they, for some reason, even though there's not evidence to suggest, they believe sales of this game would support her in whatever agenda they believe she was having, and this led to a harassment campaign where streamers, gamers...
I found this so rational. Well, first of all, there is no signs that she was, like... I guess she probably looked over it, right? She probably looked over it. I do think so. Aside from that, I don't think that the money she made from Hogwarts Legacy, she is anything she's really gonna notice in her pockets. This woman is filthy rich. You think this game failing would have done anything? Really? You think that? If you think that, then I don't know what to tell you besides that you need to touch grass. Because let's be honest. Also, none of the things that I don't consider whatever J.K. Rowling says is really transphobic. It's much more like, how do I put this? It's only controversial now. It would have not been controversial 10 years ago. I'll be completely honest. A lot of her takes are very much lukewarm.
Gamers and even VTubers were harassed and barraged with insults and ridiculous slander just because they dared to play this game, which apparently a lot of people play because this game sold over 30 million units and generated over $1 billion. So this was a massive success that probably would not have had as much success if it wasn't for the people screeching about it on social media and giving it free promotion. But as you can see, Warner Bros. Is acknowledging that, and they're aware of that, and they're doing everything in their power to make this a priority in terms of its production and get it out quickly. And on top of that, the only real concern that people like me have is whether or not this is going to be a live service game. That was rumored back a few months ago that they're going to make this sequel.
Stop it. Stop it. If you want to make here's my idea. Make the base story game, right? If you want to make a live service, make it the base story game. Just the base story, right? And if you really want to add live service, do a completely separate mode. Like GTA. We have GTA 5. Just the story. Just the main game. Plain, simple. And then we have GTA Online. That is a completely separate mode. You don't need to play GTA Online to enjoy the story of GTA 5. So if you make Hogwarts Legacy 2, make Hogwarts Legacy 2, and then a separate mode, which is Hogwarts Legacy Online. I think people would be fine with that.
Equal a live service game, which would be an absolute travesty, especially knowing Warner Bros. Because they're the company who helped produce Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which was a live service game, and that was a massive financial loss for them. So why would they take something that actually succeeded, like the original Hogwarts Legacy game, and then make it into a live service for the sequel? If that is true,
because they want to make money. They want to make money. Oftentimes, at this point, looking at all the live service games, aside from like the established ones, newer ones, they don't make money. And I think there's a good reason for that. See, there are people who are really invested in like certain games, right? People really like World of Warcraft. Let's take World of Warcraft. I've never played World of Warcraft, but yeah, people play World of Warcraft. They have spent a lot of money and time into World of Warcraft. Why would they start a new MMO? It makes no sense. They rarely do. People have like mostly like 3 MMOs, and that's it. Just like gacha games. People have mostly 3 gacha games. They're not going to touch anything else new because they don't have the time for that. If you make a live service game, it needs to be so outstanding in comparison to the competition that people will play it. So this only goes well if Hogwarts Legacy Online is so outstandingly better than anything else right now that people would warrant to switch from other games to Hogwarts Legacy.
True, if that's the route they go, that is mind-boggling and a terrible choice. Now let's move on to some more gaming-related news. So it appears that many games journalists are having a breakdown on social media, even more than normal ever since the election results. And Alyssa Mercante from Kotaku has been very upset, targeting Melanie Mack here, saying, "We knew more than half of the country has brain worms and black hearts, but they want to remind us. Come to New York and say that to my face, baby girl." So essentially challenging her to a real-life...
You're gonna get folded. You're gonna get folded. Also, I don't really care if you use bad words. I think that's words that should generally not be used by anybody. I'm a big advocate of black people. Do not use the N-word. Get rid of it. Why are you using one of the most dehumanizing terms as one of your own? Stop it. It is so dumb in my opinion.
Confrontation, which is very odd, especially given the fact that Alyssa is someone who is currently, or at least alleging that she's filing a lawsuit against the YouTuber Smash JT for defamation and bullying her and all these things. But here she is on social media actively inviting fights with people, which she's done before, and those fights and those challenges have been accepted by YouTubers like Vera Dark, who then Alyssa made basically impossible terms to work with in order for the fight to happen. But yeah, this is very bizarre for someone who's saying all this, and Melanie Mack would respond basically saying she got challenged by a hobbit, and she would have to literally punch down because Alyssa Mercante is 5'2". But she would go on to say that she has no interest in actually fighting her. And honestly, that's the smart decision. Why would you give someone like this the time of day? It's crazy behavior. Like, oh, I don't like what you say online, I'm going to fight you in real life. It's really childish, and this is the kind of behavior that games journalists try to portray gamers as, when in reality, it's just projection with them as always. Let's move on to the next topic. So you guys probably know Taiga. We've talked about him on this channel recently and the drama he's dealt.
Not again! Not again! Someone's actually impersonating me, posting defamatory and slanderous content. It stays up no matter how many reports we send in.
With Nuxtaku, and also the very sad reality of his YouTube channel and also several Twitter accounts that have been either unfairly or suspiciously banned and without any sort of remedy at this point. And it appears that he is facing another round of ridiculous harassment where someone basically made a impersonation account trying to take his name and then was going around and saying some very disgusting things and trying to portray themselves as the official new channel for Taiga, when clearly it was not. And this is frustrating because Taiga would have to raise a lot of attention on Twitter just to get this addressed. Meanwhile, fan-related channels that are just uploading clips of his streams and things like that from Twitch are getting banned left and right. But this person has to get an immense level of attention from social media for anything to happen to their account where they're maliciously trying to defame Taiga. Now, of course, what's even more frustrating is the fact that they are banned on YouTube. It makes it really hard.
I went and found what I'm pretty sure is my old URL, but it's hard to say for sure that it doesn't redirect to anything anymore. Wait. Somebody stole his URL. That's interesting.
Hard to report these things for impersonation or anything like that because their main channel doesn't exist. So this person is getting away with it, or at least they were. And of course, we had some good results for once. It appears from my angle here that this channel has been taken down, which was the right move. But the fact that it took so much mobilization for this to happen is really annoying, and just another example of the YouTube system being broken in many different ways. But here's one more story I want to cover for today. So there's been a lot of drama on Twitch. So basically,
yeah, the system is so broken. I'm okay with the way the monetization system is right now. I think it's one of the better ones out there. I think so. My issue is just that we are censoring things too much that should not be censored. If it is important to talk about some topics, and censoring them waters them down on the severity of what we're talking about. Things like I can't like unconsensual doing things to men and women, ending your life. I think it's bad to censor the actual meanings of these things. I think it's really bad. Yeah, then this obviously that you can't file reports that take down personification. Other things like copyright are also atrocious. Getting copyrighted by somebody who is not the original owner of whatever it's been being copyrighted is because you can't what's the word? You cannot file a report against that. You can only file it if it feels like you can only do anything if it's like actually the owner. It is really weird.
There is this whole push about what constitutes extreme content or extreme comments that could get you in trouble. This is in the wake of the Asmongold ban, and in wake of that, people have been saying, well, what about these other people who are saying really extreme stuff or doing extreme stuff, like Hassan Piker, for example. That's the main example people use for all of his crazy comments, platforming terrorists, showing terrorist propaganda on
Hassan, Frogan, there's probably still other few. I think that I would throw in Destiny as well, because he says some outright atrocious things occasionally. I think you could throw Destiny in there as well. Um, yeah, instead of, banning these people, they're now moving the goalpost and make a label. It is very weird instead. They make like a tag instead of that. And it's so weird. It is so weird. And the CEO also doesn't step down. Also, the CEO is a degenerate. He like watches his female what's the word, streamers. Interestingly enough, you cannot tell me this man isn't taking favors from these glorified sex workers. You cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that.
Stream, things like that. And there's been absolute silence from Twitch. However, they decided in their infinite wisdom to add a content classification label and adding a new content category focused on politics and debated issues.
Yeah, but VTubers can't get their own category. VTubers can't get their own category. Sure.
And this comes after a lot of people, including some US officials and advertisers, allegedly trying to go after Twitch and ask them, why are you allowing content like that to exist on your platform, referring to some of the extreme comments made by people like Hassan Piker. And if you look at this category, it's even more.
I'm gonna say it straight up, Hassan is a racist. Frogan is a racist. It is very simple. These people made a ethnicity tier list. Yeah, you cannot tell me that these people aren't racist.
More ridiculous because you don't even have to label your streams that. It says verbatim. We want to make it clear that you don't need to label your stream if you're talking about your lived experience. Whatever that means. And shocker, none of the people who are being targeted by this rule are using it. And why would they? Because it's only going to restrict their content or the potential advertising.
Wait, we want to make clear that you don't need to label your stream if you're talking about your lived experience. But if my lived experience is based on a false narrative that makes it, which then may lean into extremist views, I still don't have to label it that way? Because remember, your lived experience can be falsified by your own perception. Your lived experience can be influenced by a lot of things. Media, one random interaction that can make it so that you hate a certain group. What is this? This means nothing. This has no meaning. But they can't even make a proper classification of what is sexual content, so what do I know?
Advertisers that might show up on their stream. So another weird move by Twitch, but for now, that is the latest round of topic parkour. Lots of topics, so as always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh. Yeah, what can I say? That was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. It is interesting, to say the least, to look at all this and yeah, Johnny Somali getting into jail, potentially. I think that's the correct punishment. The failed video games, of course. The failed movie, of course. Absolutely funny. That, again, it was expected. We all know, like, the only successful live action version of any video game franchise is, I think, personally, just Sonic. I really do think it's just Sonic. Yeah, a lot of video game failures this year. Some worse, some not so worse. We'll see how that will develop in the future. And Twitch being Twitch, and again, not giving any usable clarification on what they're even talking about, but that's just Twitch being Twitch. Yep. But thank you for watching. Please consider supporting the channel by liking and subscribing. I'll see you in the next reaction video. Take care, guys.